For most of you living or intentionally living in your purpose, I know that the stories could look a little bit the same when it comes to self-belief, when it comes to starting without even calculating the risks and just getting in there. And then when you get in there, that's when you bump into the hurdles. And when you bump into the hurdles, you're actually convicted more to keep going, not to just walk away. Just like as other people are abandoning this, you're holding on tight and you're saying, you know what, let me see what the future has for me. If it refuses, it refuses. But if it goes through, well and good, I'll be thanking God for it. So you can see that the journey of purpose is nearly the same script, but you realize that when we have the prayer, when we have God, when we have the people supporting us, there are things that actually help us grow and sprout and flourish, okay? And I believe that you've seen them in this story. So Hannah, you get, I mean, you're discouraged 3 days, you're praying, you're fasting, you're giving it your whole. You're like, you know what, let me do everything I can, so that I never say that I never did all that I could to make sure that this goes through. Did you know the questions they would ask?
We usually do a practice while in boot camp. Like all of us we go through so many questions. They ask us about this, but you don't know the question that is going to pop up when you're
especially
on stage.
for you,
So you just keep on, doing the practice, answering most of the questions.
And remember, you don't have any kind of background, the things that you've done before. If someone has done something, they can cook up a story so quickly. But yours is straight on. This is who I am. Okay.
So you just keep on practicing and all that. So after, what actually made it worse, for some of us, after like 2 days or 1 day to go, we went to do rehearsals on stage. And me, when I stepped on stage, I was like, how will I stand here tomorrow to speak in front of those people? I got a bit scared. Not only me, actually, most of the girls. I think most of us actually got scared, apart from maybe a few that had done modeling before. And, they were used of the stage. But even if you use, this is now different. You're going to speak.
Experience,
Before you would maybe walk quiet, but now you're going to speak. And you're speaking to a huge congregation of people. So we went and did practice, we did training, and then there is a lady, she's called Miss Dasha. She was training us. She was like, I know most of you are scared, but just enjoy the moment. Don't be too focused on the crown, because you might not end up liking the results that come out. Just enjoy, make memories. This is an achievement. You standing on this big stage and people are watching you, this is something big for you.
Did that take off a bit of pressure?
Yeah, it did actually. So I was like, I a bit forgot about the crown, focusing so much onto the crown. I was like, now let me make memories. Let me enjoy this stage. Let me just walk like never before. And trust me, the next morning, I was the happiest girl on stage. I was walking, smiling, very confident like never before. But anyway, in my head, I was a bit nervous.
Scared, definitely.
I didn't want that.
But that pep talk at least had eased some prayer.
It helped so many of us. Because me, I had never been like that. After crowning, I went back and watched myself. I was like, where did I get all this confidence
So they
from?
mentioned the name. I know that you've talked about this so many times. When they finally mentioned the name, I saw you holding your tears back. Like, what was going on in your mind?
Having a dream and you want something so bad. And at a point you felt like you're not so good for this. You felt like it was so big for you. You're not meant for that part. And then it comes, but it's you who's now chosen.
Did they make a mistake?
For some point, actually, I was like, because I was trying to cry, and then the lights were off. I was like, maybe I'm dreaming. And then one of the contestants...
Maybe I'm hallucinating.
One of the contestants came and hugged me. So I snapped out of it. I was like, okay, I think this is now real. So when I saw my family, most of them were crying, most of my sisters. I was like, this is real, I made it. I was the happiest, you can't even imagine. But I didn't believe it.
Yeah, so you realize the journey to the crown, and I'll just, in a very simple way, the journey to the crown, and then the journey after the crown. How different?
It's the hardest.
Because there you have a fixed mind that all I want is the crown.
this is what I want, you have a whole different view of this because of what you see. Most of us see the queens, we see the crown, the nice clothes, what they do, and you feel like you're so much into this, but you don't know what's inside until you get there. So I'm not going to say maybe what I expected is what I found there, but things became a bit hard and difficult when I made it to the crown.
What were some of the shocking moments? Yes, you know that it's going to come, but when it comes, it shocks you.
People want you to behave you in a certain way. People want to remember this is you. You're not going to change.
You have your personality.
You've just gotten the crown. The personality is going to stay. Who you were is going to remain.
Yes.
But now that you're the queen, people want you to be this. People want you to do this.
For example, what did they expect
this.
of you?
About my character, maybe they expect me to maybe behave like this, and I'm not this person. Like
to be too careful and to be too...
Yeah.
And yet at your age, this is the fun-loving
This is
age.
the time that I have to maybe explore and experience most of the things. But I find myself being that mature girl who is...
Which breaks you.
Because I'm not being myself. I'm trying to be what people want me to be. And I'm trying to be what I want people to see.
Because then everyone feels like you should be this ray of inspiration to everyone. And so you should be a role model to everyone. And you're like...
And they actually forget it takes time.
I know.
They think immediately you're crowned, you're going to change.
It's like that you've got an experience and all of a sudden...
Time. Everything takes time. Even to me, it took time for me to be this person I am today.
No, just because I can only imagine you're trying, you're still finding your sense of style. You still find what colors you love as a person.
I mean, I'm just from high school.
I know.
Just bumped into this.
And then here you are in a life that is a bit more lavish than what you would have had at home.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, if you're a normal vacist at home, I mean, it would have been normal life. But right now, you've been put into the spotlight. And you have to stagger while you find the confidence to stand.
Like this is what you were doing before. Maybe I was living a lavish lifestyle before all this.
It's not something you
now
used
I have
to
switch up. And then there is judgment from people. People creating their own stories, forming this and this. You know,
so the people judging, are they usually the people closest to you or the people farthest away from you? Because I feel like the people farthest don't know much that is happening in your internal life.
I think everyone. For me, I think even the people that are more close to you are the ones that spread the rumors and the wrong information for other people to judge you. There is someone who is going to judge you from afar.
And that's none of your business.
That will not affect you because they don't know who you are. And then there is someone who's going to come from the inside and judge you. You'll be like, okay, so this is also happening. Sometimes you find yourself shocked. You'll be like, why did I even come
wanting
into this?
wanting okugamba nti abantu nakowa abantu.
Sometimes you're surprised, you'll be like, hey, like a hatred is too much.
And you look for where you could have done a problem or to deserve it, and it's not there.
But sometimes you have to know people are going to judge.
So what have you learned? What are the biggest lessons you've learned from that?
My biggest lesson is people will never know who you are. People will never appreciate even if you do what.
All the good in the world.
People are still going to judge even if you do good or bad. So you just have to do what is right.
Be you.
And what you feel like is the right thing. Be you, be yourself. Don't go because people are telling you to do this. Don't be on a lot of pressure. Because we tend to lose ourselves in the long run of achieving what we want.
That's true.
Because of what people say. So
how was your relationship with God affected by the crown?
It has been affected actually, because maybe most of the Sundays I'm always having functions. And for me maybe.
And they're programmed for you. It's
and
not like you're the one who chooses.
And then you find that on Sunday I used to go to church. Now there is an incident that happened just last Sunday. We had a cancer run. So I was invited to be a monk. And then I did go to church, but my sisters went to church. So they came back telling me, you know what they were saying at church? They were like, how can people run on Sunday? They are criticizing.
How can people run on Sunday? As if there are particular days where people are supposed to run. And you know, judgmental, most Christians are the most judgmental people.
Exactly.
Because I think we don't expect that from them. They will judge what you put on. They will judge how your nails look like. They will judge
you
your
find
makeup.
that sometimes, like, I go to church to pray, and everyone is looking at me. Everyone is asking me, "You changed? What? But
so
really,
like,
you didn't even
wait.
change.
So the church you used to go to is the church you still go to?
I still go to. Yeah.
Where?
It's in town. It's called Make Jesus Famous.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, and, okay. But I want to know, because that could be the normal life that we see, how was your prayer life impacted? Because in the wake of us achieving certain dreams, sometimes there's something that lessens in the spiritual realm if you don't continuously cultivate our personal relation, the intimate relationship with God, because then you prayed when you needed something, and then when you get it, sometimes it feels like now there is no pressure, and sometimes pressure takes us to God. But when the peace comes, that is when you feel like, you know what, let me just mind my business. I know that has happened to me so many times.
That's actually very true. Yeah, and it's not actually right. We do that most of the time. When you get something, you be a bit reluctant, and then when it comes back,
and you wait for
go
pressure.
back to God. Now, like, oh God,
you're
I'm
like,
so sorry.
You're like,
I know, because I remember the time I was praying so hard is when I wanted to, you know,
to get the crown.
Yeah. And then after getting it, I got a bit reluctant.
Yeah.
Okay, try to fight it, but then it still comes in.
No, it's in human nature. It's like when you climb a mountain and you want to get to the peak. When you get to the peak, you feel like, oh, now it's a slope. I'm just going to chill.
And now that Miss World has come in, I feel like it's taking me
like a
back
pressure now. It's bringing you back to God.
Sometimes you feel guilty. You'll be like,
I know. The only thing is our God is an understanding God.
Yeah.
I don't think he's the one who says, you didn't come, you forgot me the other year, and now you're coming back this year. I'm not going to give you. He does not do that. But again, because your spiritual life, your relational life, because as a young girl, you're getting into the deep pools of dating, people seeing you, and everyone thinking, you know, the people who are entitled, who feel like maybe they are placed or positioned somewhere, and so bring me so and so, you know, I want to, you know, be her friend, but he wants to get into your life. I know that happens as a young girl. How do you swim through that, or how have you gone through that?
For me, I think it has, I don't know. Growing up, I told you, I've been the last born, so I feel like in some way or the other, I didn't get so excited being out there that now people summon me. You find this one telling me, they've sent me to get you. This one wants your number. This one wants to meet you. And these are big people. Yeah. Big people that you don't expect.
And then they will tell you, this one is never turned down. You don't turn down this person.
So you'll be like, oh, who is he? But then for me, me being with big sisters, I've seen this happen when I was still a kid.
Okay.
So it's like I was prepared for everything before I actually came into the industry or get exposed. Okay. I've seen it happen. Maybe I've seen my sisters make the mistakes and I've learned from them. So it made me to cool down a little bit, even before that. When I got in this life, I had already seen most of the things. So no one could surprise me or bring this and be like, I'm going to take you here, or do what is going to excite me and make me be like, oh my God, I've seen it before. So it will depend on me. If I want, I will. If I don't want, I'll stay.
Are there times you've made bad decisions and you've had to circle around and change the narrative and redeem yourself?
Of course, everyone makes bad decisions. Yeah. I too have made bad decisions, but that's where we learn from. Everyone makes mistakes, and you learn from your own mistakes. You'll be like, okay, here I didn't do right. Okay. Here I did the wrong thing, and I think I need to change it, because this is not who I am. This is not how I'm supposed to act like. This is not what I'm going to be. Because you as a person, you know how it's going to affect you. Yeah. So
bad media and trolling.
Media. They have done most. But it doesn't really have anything on me. That's what
Like,
I have to do.
what has media thrown into your face that has been the hardest to withstand or to even just comprehend? You're like, okay, Sabiti Geda, you've concocted your story, and I don't know where this is going. So
Oh, they've
let me just
done
leave it
so
at that.
many,
Mm.
a lot. They've said my father is General Tumukunde.
Mm-hmm.
They've said I'm a musician in Big Talent.
Mm-hmm.
They've said quite so much. I've started from ginger. Some school I don't even know it. I've never
Like,
gone
where do you
there.
think these things come? You think people
I
are just bored,
don't
people don't have
know.
information, or people just be there liking likes and following, and so they cope
Maybe
up?
some are looking for likes and following.
Mm-hmm. And they think when they ride on your name, then
Yeah,
it will
and
be
at
easy
that
to...
time, maybe I was the one on sport. That time when I'd just been crowned like 1 month, that whole time it was me. So maybe everyone was looking
They
for
were
something
milking
to...
the juice out of
Exactly.
it. They're like, you know what, we're just going to use her,
And
splash her
maybe
around.
some of them were basing on the sources or what they were seeing that was going on. So everyone had their own stories.
And
Some were
what were
right,
your responses?
others were a bit...
Because sometimes you're tempted to say something about
I
it.
didn't respond to anything really because I felt like no one deserved it.
You ignored everything?
Yeah, because maybe for the questions they would ask me, I would reply.
Like straight?
Yeah, like
Some people
during
will
the
date that,
interviews.
during the
Yeah,
interviews.
they would ask me a few of the questions.
Are you
and I would
dating so and
clear-
so?
Exactly.
Are you singing for this brand?
Yeah, and
Are
I
you...
would be like, no, yes, whatever they would ask, I would reply.
And no one has ever put you on a spot where you got so mad and so angry and said things, uncoordinated things.
For me, no, I've never. In front of camera, no, I've not. I've
So
not
you've
got
always
so
composed
mad.
yourself and...
Yeah, because I think I was a bit told before I came into this. They always tell us, you're going to go there, people are going to judge you. Some are going to come with different stories, but it's up to you how you're going to reciprocate the energy, how you're going to respond. So for me, some of the things I didn't respond because they were not right. That's people's opinion. That is not who I am. So it's okay, they should talk.
Okay. So coming into this, I know there are things that you usually plan and you're like, oh, this is what I want to do. This is the legacy I want to leave. I know there are those things. But when you come to this, the reality of it blows your mind, and certain things change. Certain things fall off, and then certain things start formulating in you. The reality of things starts falling in place. And what is it that you want out of life or to do in life as a person?
Me, for the Miss Uganda, now that I'm in Miss Uganda, what I would want to do is to, I have a purpose, a Beauty with a Purpose project. When you're going into Miss Uganda, you always have a Beauty with a Purpose project. And for me as a person who has grown up from the village, I've seen some of the things that have been happening, and they're not so good. Maybe they don't make my father happy or me. They practice a lot of, early marriages, early child marriages. So I was like, maybe if I get a chance, I would want to remove this vice. Maybe parents could start believing in a girl child because they also have potential.
Yes, a lot of potential.
Yeah, and they actually started seeing it from me when I went back home, and they were like, you actually became a queen. Miss Uganda, how did they even pick you? I was like, because I was educated. My father educated me.
Yeah.
I'm not even at campus, but just Form 6. So it doesn't take you anything to really educate
So you started speaking to the communities.
Yeah,
and
because,
people.
yeah.
What was their response?
Before they were like, what words? That is not
Kajanja,
Kajanja.
excitement.
And then some of them were like, we do not have schools. We are in a village and there are no schools that are here, so where are we going to educate our girls from? But then we came up with a project. We were like, we're going to try and construct a school, even if it's one building, because these parents be like, our girls don't have where to study from, so we have no option. So that's what we are working on for now.
With Miss Uganda?
Yeah.
To build a school?
Yeah, with Miss Uganda and a few partners that are working with us.
Okay.
And I feel like it has changed so much because you find parents out there who have my age mates that are married, but they still have other kids. They'll be like, which school did you go to? I want to take my child there. So at least it has changed. Their mentality has changed a bit.
And it exposes them to a world of possibilities, what they didn't have before.
Exactly. So for me, that makes me happy that I'm not going to come and go. At least I'm going to leave something. At least I've changed something. And then there is also this world that wants you to do what a previous queen did.
Like what?
Maybe they want you to... You've seen it before. Maybe they're comparing me to Queen Abenacho, maybe to Oliver, maybe to Stella, any of the queens. And they forget that everyone has a different life.
Yeah.
Everyone has different capacity. They could do until
and what
where
they could do in that time is totally different.
Yeah. And everyone has their timing. What she did is not
and there's
what I'm
nothing
going
you
to
can
do.
say so and so is better than so and so.
Exactly.
That's what they could do in their time.
And that's what people do. They forget that we're different in our own ways.
But you know the world is stressed. Eh?
Yeah.
People are really stressed.
So much and bitter.
And very bitter.
Very.
And because sometimes you will read some comments, you will see people mentioning certain things and you're like, no, if you were fulfilled, if you were happy, you would never have said what you've said. But it comes from a lack, it comes from poverty, it comes from like so many filthy things that are happening in people's lives. And that's why sometimes you cut them some slack and you're like, you know what? I can't fight with you because there is no winning. This battle, I can't
There are some
win.
comments that you read and be like, this person needs healing. These people
Needs
are not
healing.
okay. Yeah, because sometimes you've not even done anything. You're just there doing your own things and someone comes there now, Jesus Christ, this person needs healing. And you're like, what's happening?
And you just keep going.
So people are
So are you doing school and this concurrently, or you put it on a hold? You'll come back.
Because it's hectic. I cannot do the two at a go. But I think next year I'm going to start school.
Okay. Yeah. And what do you want to do?
I want to do law.
You want to
Maybe
do law?
I would change. I don't know, but that's what I want.
Hannah, you want to do law?
You never know. If I change, I'll come back and tell
The
you
beauty
guys.
queen
But
wants
for
to be a
now,
lawyer.
I would want to do law.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what you really, really want. And anyway, no one should talk you out of it, because I mean, we have how many, some months to the end of the year. A lot could change, a lot could revamp, or the conviction could even grow stronger. And what are the key lessons if you were to talk to a young girl out there? Because you found this as a calling started in you very early, and here you are, you've achieved at least the first step of this, and so much can unfold in the future. What would you tell them?
What I would tell a young girl out there, I see there is a lot of pressure on media. A lot of pressure is going on in that you do things that you're not supposed to do just to fit in. Some people tend to go off track just to get what they want, what they're seeing on media. Because this media can make you run crazy, by the way. You'll be like, how come this one is getting this and I don't have it? But you forget that you're you. You're not this other person. You have to do you. You have to make you reach where you want to be. And for you to do that, you have to be satisfied with who you are and what God has given you as a person. So just go slow, go at your own pace, be very patient, pray where temptations come in, and wait for the right timing, because everything comes at just the right time.
So you heard it from the Queen, and I hope that the reason as to why we've done this, I believe there is a calling, there is the blueprint in creation. When God was creating you, he deposited something inside of you, and that thing is going to be attracted to so many things, and sometimes it's attracted to something that God wants you to pursue, but because some of us lack the confidence, some of us have grown up in families where, for example, when she talked to her sisters, and the sisters, go for it, you'll make it. Some families, you go tell your sister or even tell your mother, and they will look at you and they will just frown their face. Just everything will be concluded with their facial expression. Like,
by the way, one other thing that I forgot to tell you people, not everything is supposed to be said. Sometimes when you want something and you want to say it out, first think about it. What is this person going to say? Some people are there to discourage you. You'll be like, you know what,
they're dream killers,
they'll be like, you're not going to make it. Or even a parent.
No, just imagine if you had told your sister and your sister was like, you're wasting your time.
I know.
I don't have time for this.
I would leave it and be like, you know what, it's not good for me.
And
because
then you would have said, what could have happened if I had pursued it?
When I wanted this, I didn't tell everyone at school. I told a few friends. And when I got it, most of them were shocked. They were like, we didn't know you would even do this. We didn't know you would get
We
it.
didn't know
But
you were
anyway,
serious.
Kongs. Yeah, but most of them didn't know about
So
it.
limit who you share
Yeah,
your dream with.
exactly.
Yeah, dream still exist, and people have witchcraft. Even in prayer, people can be able to type, people can mention things, by the way, people can discourage. So I hope that you take care of yourself, but more than anything, take care of the gift that God deposited inside of you, and then use it for something worthwhile, you know, impact a life. Change a life, transform a life. And maybe you're not going to transform thousands or millions of lives, but even if it's one person that has made it, I believe that in Nakaseke, if there comes one girl who changes her life and is transformed, that will be enough for God to account it on you and say, you know what, you did, I positioned you in a place and you did what you were supposed to do as a person. We're not supposed to change the whole world. That's impossible. We're just supposed to change the small place where God has positioned us, and let the others carry on with the legacy, and let others carry on with the gift. We love you, and from us to you is a great time.